Can you like share some stories or maybe examples of where perhaps there was conflict between the different teams and you had to make a decision that was in the best interest of ultimately not only the customers, but also the business holistically?
Our CFO, when I was at Grover, in On All Hands, he said, at a certain price, we have unlimited demand, right? And it's an obvious statement, of course. Like if you're renting consumer electronics at a certain price, you have unlimited demand. But it actually got me to think around, okay, so we should be looking more deeply at like the different cohorts, like Shelley was saying, and which of those cohorts actually are the ones that are bringing us the most value, right? So we looked at actually the different use cases that are driving, because a lot of my big realization was that like often finance speak in numbers, and you go through the exec meetings and you're running through the metrics, but there's often a lack of understanding of like what is driving those numbers, right? So starting from kind of that point of view of, okay, so if you can price things properly, you can create enough demand. If you can understand what drives things, you can start to look at which cohorts make the most sense. So we actually developed, based on like the different use cases that people were using Grover for, we realized that actually the ones with the highest lifetime value were the rent to upgrade customers. So the ones that were renting and then upgrading. Obviously, Apple has figured this out as well, right? You get the new iPhone every year, every 2 years. You keep them in your lane, and their lifetime value kind of skyrockets. And so we started to focus on those customers. We called it the love maximization strategy, because we saw that actually. So initially, when I started with Grover, we had a 4-month average rental period. So averaging, I think it was about 70 euros on average, right, for 4 months. And as we started to focus on this love maximization strategy, we actually got the average rental period up to 12 months over the course of the next 18 months, right? So we went from 4 months to 12 months average rental, reducing churn dramatically, right? So, and the main thing is that by focusing on those rent to upgrade customers, we saw that churn just kind of, started to disappear or go very slowly. And then we also were able to upsell those rent to upgrade customers on other stuff as well, right? So I don't think so much it was necessarily a conflict as much it was about how do we work cross-functionally across the pricing and commercial teams, across the finance teams, across the product teams to kind of deliver this like coherent experience for the right. We made other mistakes around like building products that also started to kind of like the vampire products is just kind of eating into your business. And I think that's where I think good product managers are able to kind of work across the business. And I think unit economics is like a good place to start.